What we got here for you is another AZ tutorial video brought to you by Elite Force 10. This is actually a massive attack we were able to beat, and this was the green court on it. We did a couple sabotages, nothing really that special. The rocket launcher above here makes the hit a tiny bit easier, but nothing of vast importance. This is a standard opening hit. The second hit will be standard, and the third and fourth hits were not as standard. So here we go. First, start off by landing one smoke far right of the beach. Some people like to go after this middle shield generator first. To me, it really doesn't make a big difference. When you're doing this, just make sure that your smoke is close enough to the right wall. A lot of the times what you'll see is the girls will peek coming off that furthest right landing craft, and that can really hurt you in the end. You allow the girls to group, and then you flare up anywhere on that little ledge or even on the ledge above that corner there, and the girls are walking a nice neat line. On this one, you really do have to just get familiar with it and trust the path with your smokes. And you throw the last two smokes right here at the end, and flare timing is critical right here. As you'll see, right as those girls are surrounding that cell, he flares and is able to get them all under one smoke. He does a critter, 2 shocks, and then he repeats the critters just to make sure. That lower rocket launcher is typically not there, and he was just barely in range, but was able to get everything just fine. Next part of this hit, you're going to see him land spark off to the side. What I typically like to do is mark that rocket launcher and land and flag land spark as high up on the beach as possible, and that way you don't need to use a flare. As you can see, he did the same thing. It's important to land spark off to the side because this next portion of the hit, you're going to see 3 boats of Zukas dropped right in front of that SG. He's going to need to use an extra shot because of those rocket launchers up there. Typically it's just 2, and typically a cannon or a mortar will fire from over here, but usually isn't a problem, and he's able to get them all down just in the nick of time. After this, you drop 2 bolts of Grens on the beach, and you flare either one of those 2 cells there. The mortars will pick off some Grens typically. Yep, as you can see, there goes the mortar, gets a couple, and really this is just to do as much damage as possible. Once this first cell that he flared onto is pretty much dead, you'll see he will flare the second cell, and that's going to keep them out of range and using the overthrow of the Grens. He tried to get a little fancy there because he had some extra GBE, but typically at that point I just retreat. This was the first hit of 4 on a green court massive attack and a 10-man, brought to you by Elite Force 10.